Da, 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 da. Oh, all right. Good morning, folks. Friday morning fodder. It's cold out. Can you tell?
I'm not.
I'm here with the warm-blooded Ray Rivard, news editor at the Lakeland Times, and Brian Rose, sports editor at the Lakeland Times. I'm Doug Etten, outdoors writer. We're going to talk to you guys today about what's coming up in today's paper, along with, of course, can't forget about all the weekend sports happening. Badgers big game tomorrow night, Packers on Sunday. We'll just forget about mentioning the Brewers. So, Ray, of course, the news never stops at the Lakeland Times.
I was waiting for you guys to say that. Okay.
So what's happening this week?
Good stories on the cover this morning. We've got a story about Highway 51, the construction project that is probably going to slow down. It was scheduled to be done next year, but they're going to take a look at the issue of taking driveways out of accesses to businesses, taking those out, and of course businesses in the area are not too happy about that. So that's a good story. The next story is Nora Johnson, the gal who was involved in the traffic accident at highways 51 and J that caused a fatality last year, was given 5 years in jail. And then the last story is Laurel, our own Laurel Johnson, Laurel Olson.
Olson, not Carlson, now Olson, yeah.
Took a trip with the honor flight to Washington, D.C. Last weekend, and she's got a story about what she saw. We're going to have follow-ups on that come around Veterans Day. We'll have video, we'll have photos, we'll have a full spread about what she saw and the people who went, and that'll be a good start.
Cool. Turning back in the paper a little bit, if you go to our second section, you've of course got sports and outdoors. Some of the outdoor stuff that I covered this week talked about the corn prices and how it's having an effect on local bait shops and corn growers and stuff like that, how it's changed the market. I've got a story about wolf depredations, how they've actually declined, even though the wolf packs in Wisconsin have obviously increased from year to year. So there's a story on that. I've got a good little column about some mountain biking and things like that. Of course, with fall here now, it's a good time to get out there and do some fall mountain biking. So, of course, we've got our extra section with Julie Warbleski, our features editor. She does a good job. You'll find that in the third section of the newspaper. And, of course, we can't forget about sports. Sports is always happening, just like news.
Sports is everywhere. It's all around us.
So what's happening in sports this week, Brian?
Well, cross-country teams head to Freedom this weekend. They for the sectional meet there. Boys team has a shot to maybe go to state. They have to beat a few teams, a couple of state-ranked teams that they have to beat, but you know, they can do it. They're a team that they've been improving every meet, and this could be the meet. On the girls' side, of course, Delaney Fitzpatrick. You know, she's been to state last year. You know, state and track a couple times. You know, she's an experienced runner. Maybe a sectional title this year. You know, definitely looking at that as a possibility. Not in this week's, not in this issue of the paper, though. But last night the volleyball team traveled down to Tomahawk. You know, tough match. Tomahawk's, you know, state contender every year pretty much. But Lakeland played well, lost in 3 games, but still played very well. So
good
for that coming up next Tuesday.
Awesome. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. You know, when we hit this transition period, of course, you know, you start to wind down on one side, and boy, you look at the calendar, and it's like next week, 2 weeks from now, and you got winter sports starting already.
Sports
so
they're cranking up here now pretty soon. So it goes fast. You know, the season goes fast.
What does the ski team do before there's snow?
They have roller skis, I think they're what they call them.
Yep.
And they basically it's like roller skates, but you're you know, on skis. So it's like almost like rollerblades, but longer.
I see.
Dangerous too, very dangerous. I've tried those myself, and I think the road rash got the best of me. So, well, looking at the national scene, of course, we've got the Green Bay Packers on Sunday going against the Vikings over in Minnesota. Badgers on Saturday night. Badgers have a really tough contest with Michigan State. It's kind of like their first true road contest of the Big Ten season. Of course, Wisconsin's number 6 in the BCS rankings. Try to move up, of course, and will do so if they can defeat a Michigan State team. But that'll be a tough one. Sunday is Green Bay, Minnesota. I mean, it's pretty much, of course, our publisher, Greg Walker, our sales manager, Tony Loomis, big Vikings fan, so there's a big inter-office rivalry, of course. Ray, what's going to happen?
Well, you know, you got the rookie starting over there. I think that, you know, the Vikings they're going to come out sky high. You know, they'll probably put together a drive if they have the opening kickoff. They'll put a drive together. You know, they may score some points early, but I don't see the Packers faltering in this game. I think, you know, they'll settle in like they have the last 6 weeks. They'll play their game, they'll control the clock. Rodgers will pick apart that secondary, and I think they win, I'm going to give it 38-20.
Oh, 18-point spread, huh?
Yeah.
Boy, 38 points in the Metrodome, that's pretty tough to do.
Yeah, I think Ray's right though. You know the Packers this year, their MO, they're kind of like that boxer, you know, that doesn't start fighting until he takes that first real good shot. And that's always the way. That's the way they've kind of been this year. Is that, you know, they've given up that first drive. But I agree. You know, the rookie quarterback coming in, he's going to be coming in, and you know, probably a little bit amped up. But a couple times when he gets put on his back, which I think the Packers are going to be able to do this game, you know, that'll kind of settle him down. I don't think Minnesota scores quite as many points. I would say 30-14.
Okay, so still a pretty good spread, still a pretty good point score for
I think the
Green Bay.
Packers can put up points no matter where they go. They have so many weapons.
Oh, you know, it's been fun watching them this year. Of course, their defense has been a little suspect at times, giving up some big plays, so a lot of yards. You know, playing in the Metrodome is always a tough spot, but we've seemed to have done well there lately. You know, whether or not our defense can stop Adrian Peterson, of course, is always the main concern. And then Christian Ponder, I don't know, is it going to be a coming out party? Ray, you seem to think he'll play well at first?
I think he will. You know, he's a rookie. He's going to make mistakes. He'll throw some picks. There's no question. But I think he'll have a good showing.
Yeah?
Sure.
Good.
Yeah, I think you saw how Cam Newton came out against them.
Exactly.
But the
Sure.
Is he Cam Newton now? I don't know.
I don't think he's as good as Cam Newton. I don't think he's as much of a defensive threat as Cam Newton is. But I think in that game you saw how the Packers made the adjustments and Newton couldn't make those adjustments.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest difference right here.
So has anybody been watching the World Series?
No.
I can't do it.
No.
I can't do it.
It's tough. The Brewers are out of it, of course, but St. Louis took one on the chin last night.
2-1.
2-1.
Low scoring games.
Up 1-0 with nobody on, and had their closer come in and 2 base runners, and before you know it, it was Texas coming out, evening the series.
Yeah.
So now the scene, of course, goes back to Texas for the 2-3-2 setup in the World Series. So we'll see if Texas can pull out another one. I know I'm rooting for Texas just because I hate St. Louis, but I know a lot of people have the philosophy they always cheer for the team that beats their team.
That means that, you know, your team is just as good.
Thanks, sir.
You know, the thing with the Brewers is they played the best baseball in August and early September. And then they kind of leveled off there, and St. Louis was hot. Boy, they came in. Not that the Brewers weren't hot. St. Louis was hotter.
Yep.
Otherwise, it could have been the other way around.
Okay, the $1 million question here. Sorry, Brian.
That's
But
right.
would you re-sign Prince Fielder?
No, I would not.
No.
I would
In
not.
a heartbeat.
You would?
Absolutely.
Oh my
Milwaukee hasn't had a 3 and 4 hitter combination like that since Hank Aaron and Eddie Matthews. I'm sorry, they just
Who's
produced.
Hank Aaron and Eddie Matthews?
Oh, come on! Where's my Milwaukee Braves hat?
All right, folks, we're running out of time, so we thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week with some more Friday morning fodder. So have a good weekend, and we'll see you next Friday.
Thanks.